seems that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of What's in the Box.
And I have one of my oldest friends in this scene, Mr. Chubb, Stephan. What's going on, brother? How you? It is good to see you. We've been entirely too long.
It's been very long. It's real life. Sorry.
I know.
Mrs. Chubb is supposed to be here, but she's looking after little Chubb.
Yeah.
Has to tame the child. In cages, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I mean, real life always comes first, man. Always. You know, it happens. You know, we all must deal with real life as it comes. I mean, that's the whole reason why I haven't been able to reach out to you to actually open this. But I knew that I wanted to wait so we could hang out. And by the way, I just want to point out, I really appreciate the sticker.
That's
because.
idea.
Yeah, I always appreciate it when I get something in the mail and I know exactly who it's come from. You know, that way I know who to reach out to do this show. But yeah, I moved. I've had all kinds of other stuff. I had hernia surgery. So I mean, I knew that I wanted to do this show. So I finally got a chance to reach out to you. I had some time, and yeah, man. So I am wicked excited to open this and get a chance to read this because I absolutely loved the first couple of books. They were great. Yeah. So what you been up to, man?
Oh God, it's mostly been real life stuff. You know, it's just work. You know, you put your head down, you start working, you look up again, and it's been 6 months. You know, it's just real life. Real life stuff like chops and changes at the day job and having to cover for other people, and it's just been a bit mad. That's all. You know, they say that life accelerates when you start getting older, and that's absolutely true. I couldn't take it the last 6 months. It just flew by.
Yeah, I mean that does happen, man. You know, this year it seemed like it was, it seemed like it just started, but there's been so much that has happened this year, so much that I've, had to deal with personally, and it's just but I'm in a completely different place now. I mean, physically and mentally and professionally. I'm in a different place now than I was, earlier. I got back into interviewing people at conventions live. I went to MegaCon. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. I didn't realize how much I missed doing that and being at conventions until I was back in it. And I was only there for 2 days. I can only imagine what it would have been like if I had, gone the whole 4 days. But that kind of kicked things off for me this year as far as like, the channel and professionally. And I mean, we were talking backstage. I'm now penciling and inking a 76-page graphic novel, and I don't know that I would have gotten that opportunity had I not gone down to MegaCon and talked to Brian at Shattermare. It's possible because I did a variant cover for Shattermare, but that just seemed to get the ball rolling. And it's been fantastic ever since.
How far are you down with it? That's a beast. 76 pages.
Oh yeah, I'm penciled up to page 19 right now. Like pencils are fully done up to page 19, and I am currently inking a 2-page spread for pages 2 and 3, which I showed you. But yeah. So it's coming along, man. I'm really excited about it, And
nothing like it. You always have to have something that you're working on, even if it's going at a glacial pace. It's because they say that it's actually the fight that keeps you going. Once you finish the project, that's the worst part.
Hey, you got to have something in the pipeline to keep going. Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
You feel like you had any purpose. You're always like, oh, that was a massive anticlimax. You got to get back onto it. And when you're in the midst, when you're in the thrust of a project, that's the best. That's what it is. Yeah.
Body in motion stays in motion, man. Getting started and getting moving is always the toughest part. But once you get moving, keep moving. Don't stop. Don't stop for nothing. But let's say hi to the chat. What's up, American Comics? Good to see you, ACC. We love the chat. He's first. That's right. Hey, we got my boy Odin. What's up, Odin? Good to see you. I'll be having Odin and Skunk Artworks on at 5 p.m. tonight for Kill Them Dead.
Skunk
which is going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a German guy, isn't he? And he does acrylic work.
Yeah, he does fantastic work, man. I'm looking forward to talking with him. Hey, there's your missus in the chat. What's up, Monika? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hey, and there's my missus in the chat. How you doing, baby? Good to see you, beautiful.
Hello.
And we got Mr. Frog G dropping the link for All Stitched Up. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You guys definitely want to go hit that sign up. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and pin that comment to the top of the chat. Link is also in the description for this, but always appreciate the mods dropping them links. Let's see. Oh, yes, and don't forget to sign up for the secret project that I've been working on, the Mercenary Guild. That's right. You'll get an exclusive trading card. And trust me, it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot. I can't wait until we can unveil
showing
that.
me some of the pages. It's quite violent.
Yes, it's a dark fantasy, man. It's inspired by kind of Savage Sword of Conan. What else? 80s horror movies, comics. Books of R.A. Salvatore. Robert E. Howard. So yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. I am wicked excited to let everybody see. When I was at Ancient City Con, I got to talk to Luke Stone, and we were talking about just laying out pages, storytelling. I mean, there is just something so damn fun about telling stories with pictures. Like just the sequential pages. Pinups are fun too. You can tell a story with a single image, but being able to consistently, tell a narrative across, pages and have everybody look the same and have it feel consistent. I mean, it's a challenge, but it's a fun challenge, and I'm having a blast doing this. Pacing.
Pacing is incredibly important.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Mad Ruth? Good to see you, brother. Awesome Saturday stream. Yeah, I don't normally do Saturday streams, at least this early in the day, but I wanted to be able to have Chubb come hang out and it not be ridiculously late for him.
I'm getting old. So. He's doing me a favor.
Hey, man, sleep is a beautiful, wonderful thing, and we all need more of it. It seems. Getting that proper amount of rest is crucial. The brain don't function properly if you don't get the right amount of rest. So it's crucial to make sure you get that. Please listen to the wise feline. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and tickle that algorithm. Smash the like and dingle the bells. Yes, indeed. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Woot woot. Yeah. Appreciate you guys being here. Hey, what's up, Haldir? Welcome. Thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, man, it's so good to have you here, dude. What have you been reading anything good recently? Have you gotten anything in the mail that you're super excited about?
What am I reading? I don't read stuff anymore. I'm just busy. I'm serious. It's just a constant cycle of crap at work. Yeah. When you get home, it just burns out. So. No, what have I read recently? I've been reading because I've been reading off some Afrikaans books actually, because that's my first language.
Yeah,
and I found that because I've been living in the UK for so long that my vocabulary's been slipping. So I've been making an effort to try and reclaim some of that.
Yeah, man.
A few books here and there, but comic wise, not so much. No, I don't think. But yeah, it's the nature of it. Like I could possibly have been reading something and then I'll just completely forget about it. I'm just so preoccupied.
Oh, trust me, I fully understand. There's so much, so much that I read and couple that with like the audiobooks, because I don't know about you, but when I'm penciling or inking, not so much penciling when I'm laying out pages, but when I'm inking, because the heavy lifting's already done. It's just going in and putting the lines down, making them look good, and balancing out the shadows and the contrast. But I'll listen to audiobooks, man. I love audiobooks. Having that story, in the background, it entertains my subconscious mind and gives me a story, and then my conscious mind is doing the work. I discovered.
It's almost like the top layer is taken away.
Yeah.
It stops you from fidgeting around, and you kind of the autopilot can kick in. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. It's almost like it helps me focus. I'm able to focus on what I'm doing on and be entertained at the same time. Because I love a good story, man. Like tell me a good story. I want to be entertained. I would rather listen to a book most times than watch TV.
Yeah.
Because I can get stuff done. I can listen to a book while doing the dishes, mowing the lawn, inking my comic. I would almost prefer that to a TV show, because TV shows I have to actually look at. I have to see them. And because I have so many comic books to read, they're a visual medium. You got to look at them to read them. To appreciate them fully, you got to look at them. So if I'm going to read anything physically, it's going to be a comic book. So yeah, audiobooks is where it's at for me. That's how I get that entertainment. But yeah, recently, God, what have I been reading? I actually just I did a huge what's in the box, where I opened a bunch of stuff that I had. I got Grokin. I got Liam Sharp's art book and the Star Hinge. I can't wait to dive into those. I got Amanda Connor's Hot and Messy art book, and I got my Cyberfrog action figures. I don't know if you can see old Trick Ron and Heather Swain right back there. Yeah, actually had Ethan come hang out when I opened those too. That was a nice surprise.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah. So I mean, it's been like you said, it's been a crazy year so far, man. But it's been good. It's been good. Anything that you're looking forward to that you've seen in the scene recently, or books that you've that are coming out over there?
There are some European books that I wish were in English that I really want to get my hands on. Black Sad, the creator.
Oh yes, I love Black Sad.
There is a series called it's basically called I think it's translated as the Savage Indies.
Okay.
It's amazing. It's so beautiful, but it's not available in English. I'd really like to get a copy, but I don't want to go jump the shark, buy the damn thing, and then Dark Horse releases a copy later on.
Right.
It's called like, this is going to sound terrible because I don't know how to pronounce foreign languages, but Les Forbes what is it? Indes. That's what that means. Or Les
Okay.
Indes. Yeah, no, very, very extremely good. Let's see. I'd love to get that. I've actually got a list of books that I want, and it's on my computer somewhere. But
well, you're rolling along on the internet and you see this cool thing. You're like, oh, I need to check that out. That's why I've got Post-it notes. If you could see, I've got Post-it notes everywhere for things to remind me to check things out. I've got a couple of books that my buddy Gibby told me to check out. Audiobooks. And I wrote down Orkstain that you told me about backstage. So that's how I remember things, because it's right here. I have my list of people to reach out to about what's in the box and stuff. So I just see that's the only way I can remember shit anymore. I gotta write it down. It's gotta be physically in front of me, because you put a list on your computer and it just that file just kind of disappears, or you forget that you have that file.
I set the reminders on my phone for stuff all the time, and then randomly I'll be sitting there and my phone, my alarm goes off. Like, was it time to wake up? And I'm like, yeah, it's to remind me to get in touch with this person, or do that, or check this out. Yes, not a comic or a book, but we ordered Mad God by Phil Tippett. That it's a stop motion movie.
Oh,
cool. He was working on it for 30 years. It is apparently amazing. I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Dude, I love stop motion animation. Like, one of my earliest, film memories is watching Clash of the Titans with my dad. Like the 80s one.
The old
Harryhausen.
Yeah.
Oh man, that man was amazing. Like, just the level of detail and the talent on display. I mean, and those films still hold up. I mean, obviously, it's composited together and whatnot, but holy hell, man, like, those really hold up. They look good to this day.
You can't beat practical effects. We watched Inner Space the other day. I watched it with my boy. I'm letting him watch the old 80s movie. And the special effects
an awesome movie.
Are brilliant. They're still, all of them are practical, and they have weights. They've got, they feel like they belong in the same sort of world as the characters. You feel immersed.
Well, it all feels like one cohesive whole. Because it was actually shot. It was actually on film, and then it was put together. So it's film on film. It's not digital kind of spliced into film. I mean, that's why I feel like John Carpenter's The Thing still holds up to this day.
Yes,
all those practical effects, and it makes me sad that a lot of movies just refuse to use practical effects anymore. I don't understand why. I mean, I guess it's probably cheaper to go digital, but in the long run, it doesn't look that good.
It doesn't. I think digital done well is good, but I think it just you don't get a good animated, and it feels like things just don't have the gravity it's supposed to have. Like
100%.
But yeah, check out Mad God. That looks.
Mad God, I'm writing that down right now.
It's just amazing. It's like it just can't explain it.
God. Awesome. I love it. I love being clued into new cool shit to check out. Hey, what's up, Eric DeGuapo? Welcome, sir. Good to see you. Thanks for coming to hang out. All right. Well, you know what? I think I will. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the trailer because I want people to see this. And let's see. Yeah, hang on. Don't you go starting yet. Jumping the gun here, YouTube. What are you doing?
Is Carl and Monika the same person? No. Monika's looking after little Chubb downstairs. Otherwise, he'll run amok. He'll go down to the store, buy cigarettes and booze, and destroy the town.
Cause a ruckus.
He will. That child.
Well, I mean, it's definitely your kid then, huh? Sounds like he's your progeny.
That's the problem. You know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly.
Oh, I know how I was. So yeah. All right.
And Monika too. So it's going to be like the two oceans merging.
Oh, so you got double trouble then, man. Yeah. Uh-oh.
That's what her mom told her when we had the kid. She said, this kid's going to have revenge for me. For all the crap you put me through.
That's hilarious. All right. Andrew, yeah.
Here we go. Never far from a bloodstained paddle. Heading to the bar with my brothers holding hip to metal. I smell sinners and I swear I'm running out of cheeks. Father, forgive me, but my tolerance is getting weak. Should I flatten them out or should I take a shot? Bottoms up before I pile up some body parts. The devil's in the bottle, so I guzzle from my glass. With every sip I feel like taking out the city's trash. A fitting job for a quad of rowdy dumpster babies. We cheat to death, it's only fair that we replenish Hades. Or we could pray they repent and let God sort them. I'd rather make them confess and go to war on them. Perfect setup for the proper sequel. It's proper PC Comics, Mary boys, there is no equal. Despite our mother's worst intentions, here we walk the valley and cast a shadow with death, the wickedness surrounding. Just want to go to the tavern and pound a couple lagers, but now my boots are painted red.
Yeah!
This was 2 years ago that their campaign launched. It's just comic book timed is thin,
That's how it goes. It takes a lot of time, effort, energy, and to produce these things. It's a process. Hey, we've got an animation legend in the chat here. What's up, John? Good to see you, sir. Welcome. Thank you for coming to hang out. Appreciate you being here. I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera, and we're going to open up this badass book, man. Let's see. Where did OBS go? I've got multiple monitors, and keeping track of everything gets crazy. So let's see.
I was saying in the back room before we started, you've got such a much better setup than I do. I'm just in the back room basically. I gotta make.
Well, I took my living room library and my studio, and I just kind of mashed them together. So it's all just in here compacted. I think I've got something like 20 long boxes and 24 short boxes in this room. It's just ridiculous. They're all just I've essentially built like little bits of furniture out of the long boxes and the short boxes. But yeah. Hey, we got an Amanda in the chat as well. What's up, Amanda B? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Open it. Yeah, I'm going. Wow. You're almost as pushy as Feline. All right. Here we go.
I'm always happy to see the boxes survived the U.S. Postal Service.
Oh, yeah. Poor Feline. She orders stuff from Amazon, and like it almost you know that scene at the beginning of Ace Ventura where he's just basically kicking the box down the road and like basically abusing it, and like the dude's like, oh, it sounds broken. He's like, probably. Yeah, that's pretty much everything she orders from Amazon, and it's atrocious.
It's not better here, I have to add. We used to have a good postal service. Now it's, jeez, I don't know what's happening. They really let us down sometimes.
Well, sometimes they just don't care. They really don't. It's not their package. Why should they give a shit? Oh yeah, beautiful. Love it. And I've got another patch to add to that battle vest, man. I found the perfect vest. Actually, I got a vest for my convention battle vest a long time ago, and it didn't fit initially when I got it because it was too small. But I've dropped so much weight this year that it now fits perfectly. So it's gonna be covered in these patches. I want y'all to just look at that.
Excellent.
Yeah. I mean, you know me. I love patches, man.
Yeah, really me too. That's the only reason. That's why I did it. Just I could have some patches,
Right?
Yeah. That's the reason.
All right, make this big. A sticker. That's rad.
I've been sticking those things up all over our neighborhood. One day the police are going to come knocking on my door.
Well, yeah, because they got your signature right down there.
It's totally stupid, but
you can't hide. Yeah, see? I love this shirt, man. I mean, that's why I got two of them, so I could cut the sleeves off of one. And I will say this, every time I wear this shirt doing a sing-along of Doom, like the sleeveless one, it's always just a fantastic episode of the sing-along. Like, it really is. I remember I think the first time that I wore it while I was doing a sing-along of Doom, and I drank an entirely too much scotch and got, completely plastered. But I managed to actually, end the stream when I needed to, when I meant to. So, it worked out perfectly.
That happens to me with the Misfits shirt.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know why.
It's just
the lack of sleeves.
You get that vibe going, man.
It's the lack of sleeves. The devil comes in where the sleeves are meant to be.
Right. Right. Yeah, I wear sleeveless shirts like all the time. So having a shirt with sleeves on, I'm like, what is happening? Why am I so warm? So yeah. But had to look nice for the show today.
So that's the making of book.
Yeah.
This campaign.
I love behind the scenes stuff like this.
Embarrassing photos of me posing for reference photos.
That's great, man. But I mean, hey, if you can't find a reference photo online, you got to make your own. I mean, that's what we do, right? Creatives, and the sculpts. Yeah,
I bought a lot of just what do you call it? Animation clay, plasticine.
Yeah.
And I thought,
plasticine. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. Just even if it isn't going to be exactly the same, just to see how the shadows fall and interact with each other. That's good. So you create your own sort of reference for lighting. That's good for that.
Absolutely. And I mean, you can move the lighting around.
Yeah,
and it gives you an idea of what it's going to look like in 3D space as well.
Yeah. Richard Corbin gave me that. Not because I knew Richard.
Right.
Corbin, but I saw photos of him, like with his little model, drawing. And I thought, hey, that's a really good idea. Why not?
Absolutely, man. Corbin was amazing. You know. What's up, Fanta? Thank you for coming to hang out. I appreciate you being here. Feline says, I've watched boxes fall out of the truck and she just picked them up and threw them back in. Yeah, that's, yeah. Those folks should be reported for that nonsense. Oh, and I see you up here with your little smirk and your tee-hee-hee. Watching you. Dude, I love seeing this behind the scenes stuff. It's great. And you know, the pencil work. You know, I love seeing the pencil lines.
Yeah, I thought, because I do so many pre-sketches and things, I thought it's a shame to let them go to waste. So just
absolutely,
you know, posterity. That's an actual pub on the left-hand side, close to us. Yeah. And that's I did like a few sketches of it just to you know, I thought that would be cool. To use something. Yeah, it's not exactly the same in the comic, but I thought, yeah, just get some local flavor in there.
Well, it's all part of world building, you know. Dude, I love this. Dude, that's really cool. I like that image a lot right there.
Yeah, that one's based on a photograph. I've got there's a photography book called Skinhead or something. And yeah, there's just this photograph that I kind of like. Yeah, I just thought I want to take something that's going to be properly photo referenced, but make it a merry boy. And I thought, yeah, it came out all right.
That's fantastic, man. I love the contrast, the body language, and the look on his face. I mean, that's fucking cool, dude.
You know, there's trouble coming. He's like, you know, me off now.
He's very disappointed in what you've been doing, and now you're going to have to pay the consequences for it. Oh, this is great. You know, one of my favorite things is going through and reading the book and then going back through and reading the companion and have it inform more about, you know, what I just read. You know, have it give me insight into what I've just read. So, set this here. And all right. So, the last time you put stuff out, they were thinner. They were basically, you know, floppies.
Yeah.
And this fucking cracks me up, dude.
I tried to. Yeah, it's like a cartoon gag from back to front. So they're just waiting for the guy to come around the corner, and then. You know,
I mean, it's not a lie. It's not a lie, you know, but just not the pounding he was thinking of. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, I thought of doing it saddle stitched again, but then I got proof from the printer, and it was just bowing out. It was far too thick. So yeah, I think I'll be going ahead I'll be doing it like that from now on, because I thought it came out really well.
Yeah. No, it feels great, man. I mean, this is a solid feeling book, and I like the matte covers. You know, I've noticed a lot of people are doing matte covers now, and I like it because I feel like I can handle the book without, you know, getting my fingerprints all over it. Yeah. But yeah, this feels great, man. And
I went with the matte interiors too. I didn't go with the glossy this time. And I thought,
Ooh. Good choice. It almost reminds me of like old school comics, you know, how they used to be printed on newsprint. You know, it has that feel.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was aiming for. I mean, because you've got the options of digital and oh my god, my brain is just switching off today. Analog printing. You know, when you do it with screens, that is all screen printed. So if you order over a certain amount, it makes more sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Offset printing. There you go.
Okay, offset printing. Gotcha.
Yeah. So that is like
Woodrow. Good to see you, brother. Yep. Thank you for popping in, man. Yeah. No, this is great, man. And it goes beautifully with the black and white artwork that you got here. It adds to the vibe. This feels like an old school indie comic, man. You know, not that the first two, you know, didn't, but this definitely adds to the vibe and the feel. Oh my God, you guys don't if you haven't read the first two Mary Boys, you guys need to, just because the facial expression, you can't see what I'm pointing at. The facial expressions and like the visual gags and stuff. I mean, Chubb, I love the humor that you put into all of your books. You know, it's a feast for the eyes. You know, there's a story, and you know, there's I don't know, there's life to the characters. You know, there's animation. You know.
Oh, cheers, man. I'll
Yeah,
throw in some
absolutely.
British politicians there that American audiences won't understand. There's like an extra layer of parody there.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. You know, I mean, hey, you know, you gotta throw the parody in there every now and then. It helps you know, helps to laugh at the ridiculousness of the world sometimes.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, you know, you gotta it's got to feel lived in. It's got to, you know, and
Yes,
politics is just part of life. You got to incorporate it. If you don't, it's gonna be conspicuous by its absence. You know, it's
it
kind of
really is. That verisimilitude. You know, it's got to be there. Otherwise, you know, the story will feel hollow. You know, the
yeah.
characters have to have, you know, breath in them. They have to have life in them. So, oh, now this is the book that has like the convention in it, right?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I can't wait, man.
Yeah. So
Look, see, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I love it. I love because you can feel the emotion coming off of these guys.
it's
This is just fantastic.
it's
And
like Britain's got a very strong tradition of football comics because football is
yeah,
crazy big here. Absolutely. So there were lots of football comics. And even though I don't like football, really, I really liked the comics back in the day. And that was almost like
yeah,
a homage. I've got to do a football story. I just have to. It's just
yeah.
obligatory. And that's
Man,
the comic convention.
look
Asbo
at
comic.
I want to show you guys just like the level of detail that he's got going on here, and fun. Absolutely love it, man. So, how many stories with the Merry Boys do you have? Like, how long is the narrative with these guys, or can you just keep going in perpetuity making these books?
I'm currently working on basically the centerpiece story, the definitive Mary Boy story. Now it's going to be it's a long form story. So this is almost the very first campaign, the first two comics is almost like a pilot. This is almost like Act One, where you just have a few stories to set you in the world, so you understand the vibe, the various characters, the various sort of things that are going on there. And now I'm getting into a story where things actually change and they have to adapt.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's the next sort of phase.
That's fantastic, man. Um, so so they it does have a beginning, middle, and an end, essentially.
I've only planned up to the end of this, so I've got two books essentially. The first one's called All Stitched Up, and the second one is I was just tentatively going to call it Mary Boys in London. So the first book is basically so they cause a lot of trouble. Father Parish gets taken away. They get a new curator. The town gets taken over by the big brooding evil corporation, hand in
Right.
hand with the council, and they turn it into an alcohol-free zone.
Uh-oh, that won't fly.
Yeah, and it's kind of and a lot of things happen. Essentially, it's them reclaiming their town. There's also basically more on their origin story that comes out of there. And then the Merry Boys in London is where they go and fetch Father Parish from London. And that's almost like a tour, like a tour through London itself. You know, the way I experienced it when I was a foreigner living there for the first time and all that. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be. I'm very excited for that. I mean, this is almost just like a taste. Yeah, this is going to really get into the meat. You know, the meat and bones.
That's awesome. So, all stitched up. That's going to be new stories, or is that going to be the first two put together in a single book.
It's going to be it's got a whole new thing. It's going to be a continuous.
Awesome.
Well, if I count all stitched up with
Mm-hmm.
Merry Boys and Len, it's going to be about 160 pages, I think. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to release it in parts, so it's not going
Right.
It's not going to be one big thing. I just, it's just too daunting. So I'll break it into pieces. But right now I'm making what I'm doing is I'm thumbnailing everything out, and I've got it all here actually. So the whole story would be already created. Well, let me show you. So it'll be already created in miniature.
Excellent.
With a separate script.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to make sure everything works correctly before I, commit.
Oh, totally.
To drawing and inking the damn thing. But yeah, it's going really well. I'm really sort of
love to hear
what's going down now. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Awesome, man. Have you thought about collecting the first two and doing a book at similar size so that there's a whole set across?
I've that's the thing. I've been asked a few times now, am I going to re-release the first two as a perfect bound?
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, I should do that, maybe with a little like another self-contained story. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Because now, yeah, I shouldn't have done it saddle stitch like that. I don't know why. I just think I wanted two comics.
we all grew up. I mean, those of us that grew up reading comics, we grew up with saddle stitch comics. I mean, you'd go to the shop every week. You go to wherever you would get them. The spinner racks, Hey Kids Comics. You'd go get it each week, and that's what we grew up with, man. That's what we're used to. It does seem that this format is the more popular now. And I mean the European albums, the French albums of comics that they do. I mean, this is what they do, and it works for them. And I gotta say, I like the feel of this in the hand, man. This is a nice solid chunk of book, and I can thumb through it. It's got a great a nice thick cover on it, and the print quality is fantastic. I really do. I think you made the right choice going with the matte pages in here. It feels like an old school indie comic. I dig it, man, and it feels good in the hand. So yeah, I would definitely be down. I mean, even though I got the first two single issues, to have a set of books that are all the same format and to be able to have them up on the shelves, yeah. I think that's a good idea. I
was thinking ultimately it'd be nice to collect everything into one sort of volume, but that's still going to be a while to make it.
Oh yeah, like an omnibus collection of it. Yeah, yeah. Once you get the other ones out, and that way it gives people a chance to jump on that hadn't jumped on. What's up, Miss Goodstuff?
Hello.
Thank you for coming to hang out. She says, I laughed out loud many times reading Merry Boys. Yes. I absolutely loved the first two, and cracked me up. The story and like I said, the cartooning, the characters in the book themselves, just absolutely hilarious, man. You can definitely tell that you've put your sense of humor into it. It's deeply a part of the story, and it comes through, So for anybody that may not be familiar with the Merry Boys, give us a little bit of like what inspired the Merry Boys. Where did they come from?
It was an accident.
Ha! I love
pretty
it.
Much a happy accident.
Yeah.
I did a graphic novel with slave labor graphics quite a few years ago now, and I had a character. It was first of all, it was a comic called Sparker, and it had a Templar character in it who had like this long mop, like a mop of hair, with a silly costume and everything. He was a bit of a goofball.
Right.
At the end of the story, this is the thing. Now I plot everything out perfectly before I commit to drawing. Back then, I didn't do that. I kind of, sailed by the seat of my pants through the entire story, and just drew it as it was. I knew where I was going to end.
Right.
But, all the little bits and pieces that basically comes through the course of the story. So in the last volume of it, I just got tired of drawing his hair. So I thought, how cool would it be if I just had him take it off? So he took off the wig, he had a shaved head, and he was a lot meaner, because by that time I was sick of drawing this damn thing. I was feeling really pissed off,
Right. So I mean, it happens.
he became this skinhead Templar, you know, with
Uh-huh.
big boots and stuff. And he was the guy who sorted everything out in the end. And that was Harry. And then when it came to printing, the editor told me, you know, we need one more page, you know, because of just with all the different parts. It was going to be perfect bound. And the signatures needed one more page for that signature going into the perfect bound set. And I
Gotcha.
thought, damn, okay. So then I thought, okay, now what if Harry had 3 brothers? And then I thought spoof. I just thought spoof. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, great. So I just did 4 of them with like chains and baseball bats and faces covered in blood, and they're gurning. And it was called Catholic Skinhead Teenage Templars or something stupid, written in the same font as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, I put that in there. I thought, haha, that's really funny. And then later, it just kind of stuck in the back of my head. I thought, this is not bad. You know, can kind of, you know, and I just really got into it, and it kind of blossomed. You can't, you know, you got a good idea when you can't ignore it. It just keeps coming back. Like in the middle of the night, it's just, hey, it's still me. I'm still here, and it just, eventually you feel compelled to do it just to get it out of you, out of your system. And that's
I mean, otherwise it's just going to keep kicking around in your head and saying, hey, knock, knock, I need to be told. Knock, knock, I need to be told. You know, stories need to be told. That's what they're there for.
But it's almost like a grain of sand gets into an oyster, and then the oyster will keep layering the damn thing with mother of pearl until there's something big and substantive. It's the same thing with
that's a great analogy, man. Yeah, that is exactly what it is. You know,
so you kind of build stuff into it that you didn't like in the beginning. You never thought would be there, but it just kind of builds into something a lot bigger. It's like well, I don't want to compare myself to Dave Sim because he's a genius, but like with Dave Sim, it just started as a simple story about a mascot, you know, and it turned into this massive epic.
Oh yeah,
big personal story, and that nobody saw that coming. You know,
and one of the most beloved indie comics of all time. You know, Cerebus. You know. And and that's how it starts, you know. And when you're creating things, when you're writing things, you know, you kind of, like you said, you receive things, you know, you pick up on things, and like real life has an influence on it. You know, you add things that you've experienced in real life to the story that you're telling, and it adds that. Verisimilitude is one of my favorite words, just because it so succinctly, you know, defines what is happening. Like, you're taking from the real world, and it adds that life, that essence, that realness to what you're creating. And that when that happens, at least to me, I feel like that's when stories have that impact, when they connect with people, you know, because there's that energy. You know, I was on with Pete Sametti last night, and we were talking about, you know, energy, frequency, and vibration. Creating things, it's an energy, you know. You put I mean, like we said, there's a lot of effort and energy goes into making these things, you know. And when that passion is evident, and when that pulling from the real world is evident in the story, that's when it connects with the audience. That's when you have something that's impactful, and it, you know, the audience feels it, you know, they connect with it, they enjoy it, and they keep coming back to it. I mean, I've read the first couple of Mary Boys issues a couple of times, man. I mean, when I was at the comic shop, you know, and I would have some downtime, I would find myself picking up the copies that you guys sent me, and I'd be thumbing through and just chuckling to myself and having a good time, just waiting for people to come in. And yeah, man, I think it's
so happy to hear that. You know, it's just that's amazing. I'm really happy. That's something that I did, that I pulled out of my ass. It resonates with somebody else. To me, is the most amazing thing ever.
I mean, we got to entertain ourselves first, right? You know, you're telling a story to entertain yourself, and you're guaranteed to find, you know, some other weirdos out there that dig the same stuff that you do. You know, you'll find your audience, you find your tribe, you know, but you got to tell the truth with the story, you know.
Absolutely. You've got to show. You got to show, not preach. You got to not propagate something. You've got to demonstrate something.
100%. You know,
absolutely true.
That's the difference between, you know, making a comic book and just producing propaganda. You know, you've got to tell the story to entertain the audience, and you know, if you can, get the audience to think. You know, think along with you. You know, understand what the characters are going through, and that's how you build a connection. You know, you take them on adventures. So often these days, it seems like a lot of stories are just, You know, random events happen because random events happen instead of, you know, something has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It has a start. There's a reason for it starting. There's a reason the characters react the way they do. And then, you know, the story moves forward to a conclusion. You know, man, it got so hard working at the comic shop trying to recommend stuff to people, you know, and I mean, like I've said, I loved the first 2 issues, and that's why I reached out to you about trying to sell them in the shop, you know, because I wanted to have something that I could actually recommend to people that I knew was of quality and that they would get a kick out of. And every person that I sold those first 2 issues to absolutely loved them.
Excellent.
Like 201, they all loved those books, man. So yeah, hats off to you, dude. I am so glad that you're continuing with these. Is there any other type of stories that you would like to tell outside of Merry Boys? Like other characters that are kicking around in your head for proper comics?
Absolutely. There are loads. But
excellent.
whether I'm ever going to get a chance to do them, I don't know. No, I've got a bunch. I've got like a whole folder full of ideas of stuff. But yeah, one day we'll see. I think there is almost like an inclination when crowdfunding, definitely, to want to keep doing number ones, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Just in case, you know, for the speculation sort of value. Just
right.
There's like a new excitement over a new idea that you want to do. But I feel, yeah, maybe after the next 2 books, you know, because I feel like I've just only started with this.
Yeah.
After the next 2 books, then I might try something else for a while. But I've got like the faint sort of inkling of ideas for things for these characters beyond that. So we'll see.
Awesome.
You know? Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Ms. Goodstuff says it's worth it to buy these all together because you will definitely binge them. Yeah, totally. The story is wicked entertaining, and you will chuckle. I'm excited to see, you know, I'm excited to see what else you will do with these characters. So would it be like a proper comics universe as it were, or would they be separate type things? At least the way you're thinking
no,
about
it'd have
it right
to be
now.
separate, because there's one property I'm thinking of that's more of a sort of, it's almost like a horror fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I really want to do a horror comic quite badly, and I've also got a pure fantasy comic that I would like to do. So,
dude, I would love to see those.
Oh, but I really want to delve into, because I'm a big fan of Bernie Wrightson. I'm a huge EC fan. It's a different style of illustration. It's a heavier approach to it, and I see it's something distinct from my style. It's something I want to delve into because I think I could do that. But
hell
like
yeah, dude.
Horror comic, a horror narrative would,
100%. Yeah, man. Bernie, man, talk about inspiration, you know, black and white artwork, just looking at the way he would lay out things, the storytelling in just like a single image. I mean, the famous image of Frankenstein being held by his monster, you know, in his lab with all the stuff around it, the beakers and like all the scientific equipment, and just the fact that, you know, there's all those lines around, but it still reads. You know, you can still tell what's happening. It's still, you know, the contrast is still there. It's just Bernie was incredible.
It's masterful. But also the line work. If you look at it closely, it's just it is almost like John Tenniel, the illustrator of Alice in Wonderland and Punch. You know, those old. He went and researched old techniques to make it look antiquated and timeless.
Yeah.
How I don't know how
the wood block, you know, the printmakers, you know, he thought that they did that with pen, so he taught himself how to get that look and effect with pen, instead of like, you know, them chiseling it out and then making a print out of it. So that to me is just incredible. Like the dedication, I can only imagine how long it took him to do some of those images, but they're breathtaking. You know, to this day, they are still amazing. I don't know if you read any of Frankenstein Alive. Bernie actually didn't get to finish that. Kelly Jones had to finish it up for him.
No, I haven't seen it. No, I haven't.
It was good, man. Yeah, even up to, you know, right before he died, he was still on top of his game. Like there was no lag in his artwork. You know, the storytelling. Another thing I really love about Bernie's work is like the subtlety of body movement. You know, the postures that he would have. Hands. I love hands, man. I love drawing hands. You can tell. I mean, I'm Italian, so I speak with my hands. You know, you gotta when there's a topic of conversation I'm passionate about, you better watch out because the hands are gonna be going. You know. But it's for emphasis, and there's a lot of storytelling that you can do with hands. There's subtlety that I don't often see in a lot of modern stuff. You know, there's a hand that's passable, but you know, the subtle movements of hands, the way you can tell a story with it to get a certain feeling across. You know,
but horror, like those knuckles. Yeah. Have you ever seen his knuckles that he draws?
Yeah.
You know, those
like it's especially like a hand gripping around like an axe or something like that. Yeah. It reminds me of those old EC books back in the day. You know,
he would have been an EC artist. You know,
absolutely.
You know, I think he would have been the star pupil of Graham Ingles. Do you like Graham Ingles stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, oof,
yeah,
so good. That's what I mean.
The draftsmanship, man. Like the draftsmanship of those artists back in the day. Like even I was watching Aldis's show In the Gutter last night, and they were talking about some of the Twilight Zone comics that Gold Key put out. Now I'm not super familiar with those, but you know there was just like this little throwaway story with a tumbleweed that Ride Radio brought up, and it amazed me that even this little tiny throwaway story, the draftsmanship and the storytelling with the images was just head and shoulders above, most of the stuff that's put out in the mainstream right now, and that to me is incredible. Like these were proper illustrators back in the day. These cats were good at what they did, even for tiny little stories that would just be quickly read through and, given a little chuckle, but they put that much work into it so it looked good. And I would love for more of that to be the standard, but that's why we got indie comics, man. We got people that are passionate about making good stuff and putting out quality work, like a diss.
We're all reaching for something, and that kind of, like I said before, that's what keeps you going. After you've finished, it's a bit of an anticlimax. You just got to keep getting on and trying to, reach for that perfect circle. You'll never get it, but why not?
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's the journey, not the destination, right?
Yeah,
you got to enjoy the journey.
No, that's it. Yeah. No, well, we'll see. I mean, yeah, no, I don't know. The weird thing is about these comics is that even if I didn't crowdfund them and print them to everybody, I'd still do them. I'd still, I haven't completely convinced myself I want to release this, but I know absolutely that I want to do it for myself. It's just like a need to get it out. It's not because, for no other reason. I just want to prove to myself I can do this to a level that I am really satisfied with.
Well, it's a desire to make something, man. You have that need, and again, like we said earlier, like that story would keep knocking on the inside of your head until you let it out. It needs to be told, and when a story is that persistent, it needs to come out. And if you ignore that, I mean, I think that's to the creator's detriment to not tell that story. I don't know, comes across, it will kind of demoralize the person, I guess, at least the way I see it. Like if you don't tell that story, then internally it will kind of demoralize you.
Yeah, it's like I've had an aunt. She's passed away now, but she had this thick. She worked at a bank. She was quite high up in the bank. That was a whole career, and she'd retired. She had this thick ledger full of poetry. And little short stories and things that she never, she never tried to get published. She never did anything with it. Not that publishing is like the be and all and end all, but she never explored. It was always like small, little things. She never threw herself completely into it. You know,
Oh, that's unfortunate.
and I'm like, that's like the worst, because I mean, once everything is over, it's over. You're not going to get another shot. It's just
Yeah.
that's just it, you know. But I mean, what is
Yeah.
success? What is success? Maybe she was happy. I mean, what does success look like? Doing something you personally find what I mean, a lot of people want to work for the mainstream, right? Working on other people's IPs for a paycheck, getting these things
Right.
out. Is it that satisfying? That's my
I
question. It's
mean,
like, is it your
yeah.
story? Do you have this sort of ownership? Isn't it better to do your own thing, and only you may possibly see it and experience it like it? I still think, yeah, that's got some merit. That's got some merit to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends on what you want out of life, man. You know, if you're happy, you know, just doing that thing, you know, working on somebody else's IP, you know, then go for it. But there's a lot of people that, you know, that's not satisfying. And I mean, you know, in these days, like, you don't get anything, you don't get any royalties. Like, the royalties just aren't there anymore. You know, the days of getting you know, royalties from Marvel and DC, at least for modern creators, seems to be few and far between. You know, it has to be a megaton bomb of a character to, you know, blow up to actually get royalties anymore. So, I mean, the way I look at it, you might as well own your own IP, tell your story yourself.
Or be involved in a smaller IP with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then at least, you know, then you are the definitive artist or for the definitive writer for that IP, not the 50th person who's drawn Spider-Man or
Yeah.
iteration of Spider-Man, because you're not going to get the fame either. Never mind the royalties. You're not going to get any, you know.
They kind of make sure that doesn't happen anymore. You know, they got once bit, twice shy with all the image cats, and that was all she wrote. John says, if you have a story that needs to be told, you'll regret not getting it out to the public. 100%. Telling the story is the most important thing. Absolutely, John. I couldn't agree more. You know, creative individuals, storytellers. We need storytellers. We need good storytellers. We need storytellers that are actually passionate about telling these stories, getting these stories out there. You know, one of the things Pete and I were talking about is, you know, storytelling is integral to the human experience. That's how we recorded our history for millennia before the written word. You know, oral tradition. You know, and then you know, obviously written word and pictographs and cuneiform and all that stuff. So it started, you know, but stories are how we recorded our history, how we keep track of what's happening. It's how we entertain ourselves. I mean, sitting around the fire with the tribe, you'd tell stories. You know, fairy tales. The grim fairy tales were told, and they were scary as all hell to scare the piss out of the kids so they didn't go get lost in the forest, you know, and possibly get eaten by something, you know. And also there was a lot more magic in the world back in those days. You know, it's kind of been repressed, but you know, we may see the return of it at some point. But you know, stories are important, you know, and I feel like that's part of the reason why they do their damnedest to flood the market with mediocre, lackluster stories, because that permeates into, you know, the cultural mind. It permeates the zeitgeist, for lack of a better term.
Well, the thing is, there's a dichotomy going in, saying that we want you to tell your personal story. We want you to, but then they put in a certain set of parameters. Okay, your personal story has to look like this.
Yes.
You know, if it looks at anything, you can rebel, but you need to rebel like that. That's not how rebellion works.
The approved method of rebellion, you know.
Pastel colors.
Yeah.
PC politics. And only a certain aspect of life experience from certain individuals is allowed. No.
Yeah.
Doesn't work like
I mean, I ascribe to the axiom of think for yourself and question authority. You know, take the information that is given to you, analyze it, and you know, verify it. You know, you got to be open-minded, but you've also got to be discerning. You know, it's a crazy world we live in, man. And I mean, to be fair, it's always been kind of crazy. You know, it's a world populated with people. So of course it's a little crazy, and it's always kind of been that way.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't remember it being as crazy as this a decade ago, to be honest with you. It's really
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
the kitchen sink's been thrown at this one. God, it's just getting mad. Like the news today, for example, that's just going to kick off. I don't want to talk about it in your chat.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
It's just, oh,
You know, and the sad thing is that you almost can't ignore it, because this is the real world we live in. We must deal with the world as it is. And how we do that is telling stories. That's the fact that the world is the way it is, means that we need these stories all the more. We need stories that entertain, that inspire, that push people to create, that give people a laugh, that give them that escapism from, the harshness of reality. Because, sometimes being in this reality sucks balls. So we need stories to entertain us. We need good entertainment to unplug from reality so we can then effectively deal with reality. So that's why, stories are important. Telling good stories are important. Set up your own web store and sell your stories. Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got an eBay store.
Yep. Links are in the chat or in the description. Yeah, go check it out.
Excellent.
If you guys, obviously, now on the next campaign, on All Stitched Up, are you going to offer beef heads and the first 2 issues as like a catch-up tier or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, they're going to be available all the way through on eBay anyway. But yeah, I'll probably try to on the campaign too. Yeah.
Nice. Well, it'll be nice for people that are just jumping into the series to be able to get all of them all at once, and like Ms. Goodstuff said, they'll be able to binge them. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. And a new thing we're going to do now, I was going to do it before, but Monika's talked me into it, is we're going to be selling PDFs, digital versions as well, just for anybody who's
nice.
The shipping is a big thing for me, especially getting stuff from the US. It's just absolutely crazy. I'm finding, I'll probably be backing more PDFs and things like that myself now. So I'm just putting myself in other people's shoes.
100%. I backed the Lucent a few days ago, and the shipping is just, I understand, shipping anything to Australia is ridiculously expensive. Getting anything from Australia is ridiculously expensive. The shipping is kind of ridiculous, and I don't know. I wonder if it really needs to be that way, or if it's that way just because the people in charge choose to make it that way. Who knows?
Well, what are we going to do in the next one? Because we've got the economy shipping. Like I've tested this, and you've got different. Like what we've been doing is we've been sending things out standard. Standard international shipping. It's not tracked, and it's almost on par with American domestic shipping. I think it might be a little bit more expensive, from what I've seen.
Not by much. Yeah.
What I want to try is post out economy. Because they say it's quite a bit cheap. It's quite a bit cheaper. But they say it'll take up to 6 weeks. In my experience, it doesn't take 6 weeks. It takes about a week, 2 weeks tops.
That's awesome.
So we're going to look into that. And also next time I do a campaign, the book is going to be done. So literally the only way for me having it printed and then that the shipping out. So it won't be like, oh, you've backed it, now you have to wait for me to draw the damn thing before. So that's going to change because I think there's also there isn't as much trust in crowdfunding anymore, because lots of people just failing on their campaigns, or just taking ridiculously long to deliver on the damn thing. So people are a bit more careful, where because I think everybody's been burnt now by 1 or 2 people. Who just never get their things over the line. So I'm just as a sort of just to inspire some confidence, I was thinking, get the whole damn thing done. Not the entire 160, but for what you're crowdfunding at the time.
Yes, absolutely.
Print files ready to go, and then because I'm in the unfortunate position where I write and draw and letter it myself. So I don't have
you're a one-man army on this. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Hey, you're able to bring your vision to manifestation as a whole, and it looks fantastic, man. This is pure Chubb. This is pure Carl on the page. This is the story that you wanted to tell. So I mean, there is absolutely something to be said about that, and you should be damn proud that you're able to do all of this stuff, you know, and it looks good. If I hadn't known that you did all of this stuff, you know, I would have thought maybe you had a team, you know, somebody to do the lettering, you know, somebody to do, you know, because you do all the graphics and stuff yourself, right? You set up all the print files. I mean, is all you, you know, that's incredible, dude. Seriously.
It's necessity.
Yeah.
More than anything else. But
yeah,
thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. You make it work.
I'm just hard to work with. That's the reason.
Yeah, I work with myself all the time, and damn, I'm a pain in the ass to work with. Yeah, you know, sometimes you got to be that slave driver, you know, for yourself. And you've got backup with Monika. You know, I'm sure she helps you stay on target. You know, and she helps you with the eBay store and all that. You know,
she's an eBay queen. She's an absolute eBay expert. So that's good hands. Her rating is like 100%. She's been selling for I don't know how many years, thousands and thousands of sales. So no.
That is awesome. Yeah. So she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to have that backup, man. You know, it's important to have that person that has got your back all the time, and it's, you know, it's fantastic that it's, you know, it's your wife. You know, it's your partner in crime. You know.
Yeah. So I don't have to pay her. I don't have to pay her any money.
Yeah, I got my partner in crime right here. She helps me out immensely. She's always there to support me, and you know, I can send you know, a picture to her, and she'll look at it, and she can give me, you know, some feedback, like, hey, this doesn't look right. I can't exactly tell you why it doesn't look right, but this doesn't look right, and I'll step back and I'll look at what she told me, and like, oh, damn, baby, you're right.
And look, what you need is somebody you can trust because my other half, she'll tell you the absolute truth, whether it hurts your feelings or not.
Yep.
Seriously, you can rely on Monika to give you an absolutely impartial, very direct piece of criticism.
That's wonderful, though.
That you can rely on. So
yeah,
if something is good, then it's good. If it isn't, then then listen up, because that's exactly how she feels.
Yeah,
her feelings are spared. So
well, I mean that's what editors should do.
Yeah,
you know, and so it's important to have that. And she says 16 years she's been doing eBay. Yep, and see, Feline agrees. That's important. You know, it got to have somebody that, you know, can help you see the forest from the trees, that can, you know, pull you out of, you know, because when we're in the thick of this and we're creating, you know, we see the whole thing in our head. You know, we know the whole story and whatnot, but having somebody else that can, you know, help you say, hey, this doesn't make sense, you know. And then you're like, oh, wait, that's right. I know how this connects, but I didn't actually show how this connects, or I didn't say how this connects in the story. So yeah, having that person is absolutely crucial. And that's how you you know, teamwork make the dream work, baby. You know, it's how you get to that place, you know, where you get that quality. That's incredible, man. I love it. I love seeing teams, you know, husband and wife teams, like Aaron Lepresti and Shelly Lepresti, you know, them working together, you know, EVS, and Andrea, you know, working together to get their stuff done. I mean, it's great, man. You know, that's how it should be. You know, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I think that you know, having a team, having somebody that, you know, gives you that backup, and, you know, is not afraid to tell you, yo, this sucks, or this needs to be fixed. Yeah. You know,
but also when she tells you it's good, you know it's good.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
exactly.
It's like, oh, I'm so happy you like this. You know,
yeah.
You're not like,
yes,
like,
I did it.
You on the head, going, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, while looking to do something else. Yeah, totally. You know,
all time.
gotta have that person in it to win it with you. So when are you thinking you'll be launching All Stitched Up?
Oh, I don't know. See, the thing is, with the day job, it's been quite hectic, and I just didn't want to create any sort of. I thought the worst thing I could possibly do is, you know, launch the damn thing and not have it finished completely, because then, you know, I'll be under immense stress not to miss the deadline, because I hate it when that
of
happens.
course.
I hate that. So I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you at the moment. Ideally, I would like to have Dave.
What's up, Dave? Good to see you, brother.
Dave. I'd ideally like to have. I'm going to have the entire thing thumbnailed out, and the first part penciled and inked, and then sorry, that doesn't create any sort of time frame, does it? But that's what needs to happen.
Hey, man, you know, book's done when the book is done. You know, I'm just asking because I know people in the chat would be asking as well. They're wondering, hey, you know, what's when can we expect this? In the meantime, you guys hit that link that I pinned at the top of the chat here. Go sign up. That way you don't miss it when it comes out. What's up, Past Master Dan? Good to see you.
Right, Dan.
What's up? Yeah. Yeah. So, how far into the next book are you, or are you still just at the layout stage currently?
Everything. Yeah. Well, everything. Well, the scripts are written. Now it's that part where you break the script down into panels, and you make sure that everything flows and the storytelling works and all that. And I'm probably about halfway with that right now.
Nice, dude.
So it's coming along quite well. Just finding the time, and then after that I will. What I'm also thinking of doing this time, like normally I'm completely traditional, so everything we penciled out, and
that was my next question actually.
I was thinking of, because I bought a copy of Clip Studio, and the sketches I've been doing look like real pencil sketches, and they gives you a lot of flexibility.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of doing the pencils digitally with a digital pencil, and then printing it out and inking it. So that I'm hoping it'll save time. You know, that's one thing. Give me more, just give me a bit more range on it. I think. You know, I don't want it to look like something that's been computer generated. I'll never do that.
Right.
But, you know. So
being able to iterate quickly like that, man. Yeah, absolutely. That's. I mean, what I showed you, I've been working completely traditional. But normally,
I couldn't. If you told me that's traditional, I would have gone, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going for. I definitely want it to feel traditional, because you know, you look at some digital stuff and it all feels the same, because they're using the same brushes, and you know, it's the smoothed out line weights. You know, there's got to be those imperfections that make it feel, you know, real, you know, for lack of a better term, you know,
especially with something grisly, you know.
Horror
books have got to look like it was made by somebody with some sort of mental problem. You know, it's got to look a bit sort of deranged. It's got to look like the mad scribblings of a maniac. You know, that energy you got to transfer into the story like that. You got to do it.
Absolutely, dude. I think working like doing the pencils digitally and then printing them out and then inking them. That way, you still have originals. You know, if you want to sell pages, but being able to lay things out digitally. And then, okay, this needs to be tweaked. And instead of having to erase and then draw it again, which granted, you know, helps sharpen the skills, but being able to just grab that thing with a lasso tool and move that arm a little bit, or shrink that head down a little bit. Because, you know, one of my biggest problems is sometimes when I'm drawing a character, I'll you know, do the quick sketch, and like, you know, I've got an oversized bubble for the head. And then I'll realize that, oh, that needs to be smaller. I like the way this is tilted. I like the way this is drawn, but I need to shrink it down.
And just remove the whole thing just a little bit to that side.
Yes.
And you can't do it.
Oh, framing, absolutely, man. Being able to switch the framing up, I think it'll help speed up the process for you, because you know, the layouts are the heavy lifting. That's where all the brain power comes in. You're thinking about, you know, how the pages need to go, the flow of the story, how things are framed, you know, composing the shots, as it were. And then once you print it out, like once you're ready to go to Blue Line and print it out, I mean, you can just go to town, man. And having a printer, you know, I've got a printer that I can print on 11x17 easy. You know, it prints up to 13x19 if I really needed to. But having that and being able to iterate and then have originals, it's fantastic. It has definitely helped me a lot to get work done faster, you know. And also, you don't have the pencil ghosting and all that, and you don't have to go through multiple sheets of paper, like light boxing stuff onto another piece.
I had to do that. And also you draw something more than once, which also really annoys me. Okay, with inking, fine. You know, you'll be drawing it twice. Once pencils on the computer, and then just traditional inks. But before, it would have been doing the roughs, tracing those through onto Bristol board, and then only afterwards. And it's just a real pain. So why not?
It adds extra work.
Yeah. And for one man show, it just doesn't make much sense.
Exactly, man. Dave says, really looking forward to reading more Merry Boys. It's one of the books that flies under the radar. With the quality, it should be easily hitting 50K campaigns. I agree. I 100% agree, Dave. You know, and the thing about this indie sphere, like indie comics, it always takes time. It takes time and building. And like you were saying earlier, that little grit that keeps getting covered, and it's like a snowball effect. Also, it keeps rolling.
It's trust. Like that's why I'm so anal about. I want to fulfill on time. I want that confidence. You can be the best artist in the world, and if people never get their books or get it years down the line, then people go, I'm not going to do. I'm not going to go through that emotional roller coaster again. That's no good. So you got to balance those things out.
I mean, and maybe they won't jump in on the campaign. If it takes too long, they won't jump in on the next campaign. Because they know that it took this long to get the other one. Maybe they'll wait until after it's come out and people have already gotten theirs, and then there's a second chance campaign, or they'll bite the bullet and pay a little bit extra to get it from the eBay store if possible.
Or even worse, if it's a multi-part story, which this one will be, they have to wait years in between those pieces of story. It's just not. It doesn't make any sense. It would kind of deflate my enthusiasm for the project if those were the terms. That's I put myself in the same, because I'm in the same position in a lot of as a comic book reader, so I understand. I know how they feel. I feel the same way.
I think it's important for indie creators to be comic book readers as well. That helps to connect with the audience. Because you're feeling the same thing. You're right there. You're a backer as well. So it adds to it, man. It helps to ground the creator, I think, and helps them to stay in closer contact with the audience, because that's one of the beautiful things about what we're able to do now. Indie comics back in the 80s, in order to connect with the audience, you had to literally go to conventions, you had to go to shops, you had to put foot to pavement and go places, you had to do the legwork, as they say. And now we can do a lot of that legwork online. I mean, the fact that I'm all the way over here in Florida and you're over in the UK, and we can have this conversation like we're sitting right next to each other is amazing. We can use the new tools and we can use the old ones as well, and bring this fusion of indie comics. And I think that's why we're seeing this renaissance. I am so incredibly proud of the Iron Age of comics. I think it's fantastic what we've accomplished, and I think it's only going to get better from here.
I've heard that term being thrown around. I've been out of the loop. What is Iron Age? Is it almost like? Does it mean Renaissance? Does it mean this is where we start? This is ground zero for indie comics?
Well, I mean, you know how they refer to the Golden Age of comics, the Silver Age of comics. Golden Age was the 50s and 60s. Silver Age was the 70s into part of the 80s, and then you had the Bronze Age, which was the mid 80s into the mid 90s. And I don't even know, I guess the modern age is what they called stuff from the mid 90s up into the 2000s. So they've just kind of called this the Iron Age of comics, and it mostly refers to, it actually just refers to indie comics that are being put out now. Mostly the ones over here online. I mean, there's still indie comics that do the traditional route and get into the book and get put out into comic shops, but they're few and far between. And they don't get traction.
Yeah, it is with it's just the role of the publisher has changed too. And I think a lot of indie publishers, I think, realize that too, that it's people are just doing their own thing a lot more now. And it has changed. The whole thing has changed a lot.
It really has.
We're all trying to navigate our way through this these new territories. And I don't think there's any one right way of doing it.
No.
It's different for everybody,
Mm-hmm. You got to find the route that works for you, that works with your workflow. You got to find your own path. And I love the fact that there are multiple creators just finding that path. They're finding their audience, they're finding their voice, and they're putting good books out, connecting with that audience. It's truly incredible to see. I mean, I've been reading comics since I was a kid, and I've seen this industry change a lot over the years. And like I said, working, at the comic shop, my local comic shop, it was my childhood comic shop. I would go there and I would sneak out of my Christian private school that was across this giant parking lot from the comic shop. I would sneak out on my lunch break and go buy my comics and then hide them in my backpack, and couldn't let anybody see those books at the school because comics are the devil, devil, devil. Yeah. So I would wait until I got home, and then I would enjoy my books. But it's crazy to see how things have changed. And I believe that indie comics always push the medium forward. They always allow the medium to pivot and to reach new audiences, because you have creators that get disillusioned with the mainstream, and so they make their own books. You read comics long enough, you get ideas. It helps foster creativity in the mind. Reading stories, that's why I feel like creators should be well read. They should be widely read. Hey, what's up, Dave? Good to see you, man. Thank you for coming to hang out. He says, Merry Boys is such a fun IP. Absolutely agree, man. Absolutely agree. This is a wicked fun comic book, and everybody should be jumping on this and signing up for All Stitched Up. But yeah, man, I'm just, every time I have one of these conversations, every time I get to talk to creators, it always gives me a buzz. I mean, I'm still buzzing from the conversation I had with Pete last night, and this is just adding to it. I love seeing the passion that creators have for making their book and getting that story out to the audience. This is fantastic. Sai had a question. I have a question. Is that 3 sets of bins in the corner?
What, this thing?
The big red, yeah, the big red stack.
It's like a cheap sort of, it's like a shelving unit that you buy at the pound store or something. Yeah, it's just drawers with probably underwear and cleaning stuff in there, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I have a black one of those down here that has has art supplies and random bits of electronics, like cords and cables and stuff like that. If I ever can't find like a specific cable that I'm looking for, that's where I go to look first.
Yeah, I got something in my blog where I actually draw. Now I gotta sort something out. Yeah, like I told you before we started. This was the room that my sister stayed in for a while. She doesn't stay with us anymore, but we just haven't done anything with it. Maybe I should. Yeah. Since my wife sewing stuff, I was thinking that. Listen, Monika, can't we turn this into a man cave? Look how cool Luke's man cave is over there. Why can't I have that? Why can't I have one? Come on.
He needs a place to hang out and create. See, I've got my Mjolnir, I've got my Wolverine claws, I've got my Spider-Man 2, I've got my Jetfire, I've got my Lady Death figure, both the old original ones and Evil Ernie. I've got the new one. I've got my Cyberfrog figures. These are all like books that mean a lot to me, that I love. I've got my Poison Elves and Berserk up there. It's just being, being centered within this. It's I don't know. I feel inspired just walking into this area.
Yeah, it's a zone. It's a mindset that you're walking into.
Exactly. Feline says, "Wait until he moves here." Oh yeah, it's going to be epic. I'll be able to combine not only this but also my Sing Along of Doom studio, which is currently full of all the rest of the crap that was in my condo that I need to go through. That's why I haven't done one all this year. Monika says it's a woman cave.
What's that? What's a woman?
Woman. She gonna smack you when you get out of
What's
this.
a woman? What's a woman now? What's a
Oh,
woman?
Lord.
Nobody knows.
Yeah. No, I think we know. I think we know. Sewing machine and accessories is what's going in that room, apparently. All right. Well, you know, where do you currently draw your books? I mean, you have to have a table set up somewhere.
Yeah, I've got this. It's in the living room. I've just got this huge table with the drawing, with a computer over there. I
Mm-hmm.
just everything in one place. A big shelf with drawing supplies on that side, and
Damn right
yeah,
you are,
it's,
baby.
it's all set up. It's all set up there, quite comfortably.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. I mean, so you could maybe put some shelves around you so you could have your books. You know, have like a slight little divider so you have like a space. You know, sometimes I feel like it's absolutely crucial to have that space to be creative, so you can kind of shut the door and just be in your own thoughts. That's his man cave, an open plan one.
Yes, missing the point of a man cave. It's a
Don't
family.
worry.
It's a family cave. It's like when we were prehistoric people hiding away. Like you've seen the Crudes, where they're all hiding from the big
Oh yeah.
cat. We're like that. That's like that. It's really just huddling away in the dark.
Yeah. I mean, it works. It works. And there is something to be said about having that connection with family. Even while you're being creative. So I get it.
Like Phantasmagoria,
yes,
they are much smaller. Definitely.
That is true. That is true. I've never been to the UK, but I went to Holland with my ex-wife. She was my wife at the time, but we went to Holland, and I was amazed at how narrow the staircases were, and how often I almost smacked my head on either a doorway or like walking down the stairs. So yeah.
Now add to that, the Dutch are pretty big people. Some of the tallest people they are, sort of, and the houses are just, and it's kind of weird. It's like a weird sort of combination.
Yeah.
I need to shut the door too.
And she says, yes, they are. Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll figure it out. You guys will figure it out. Just keep working at it. Maybe you can get like a big floor to ceiling bookshelf to have like right next to the desk, so you have a little bit of like a, I don't know. I hate to say cubicle, but so you have that kind of enclosed space. And to be fair, when I was setting this up, I was thinking I was actually trying to replicate as closely as I could my old living room library. Just because I had the books and I had both the spinner racks. I still have both of my spinner racks in this room. It's just I could only fit one over here. It's just, working with smaller space. But I'm sure you will figure it out.
That
we
space
have a
you have
garage,
is bigger than our living room. Just kidding.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I heard the houses were small, but damn. We have a garage, but no car. Interesting. Could you possibly turn the garage, like finish off the garage and turn that into a studio for yourself?
I want to level the garage and build like because we've got space to put like for quite a bit for quite a big garage there. So that one day that would be a plan.
That would be awesome. That way you can plan it out, and that way you have the ultimate space. Ultimate studio workspace, man. I think that would be the way to go.
Studio workspace / dojo / party hall.
Yeah, man. Place to stream from, place to hang out, place to unwind and unplug. Especially in cities like Amsterdam, houses can be compact. The stairs are small. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, some of those stairwells are so incredibly steep with tiny little steps winding up. It's like that. It's
almost like a 30 degree or something like that. Like it should be at least a 45, but no, you are climbing up those stairs,
And it's above one of those coffee shops where you buy weed. So I can imagine somebody going up there and falling all the way down again after they've smoked their stuff.
Oh God, yeah. Luckily that didn't happen while I was visiting. But yeah, like I said, going down the stairs, I almost cracked my head on the overhead a couple of times. Hen kept telling me how big my little rinky-dink house is. I didn't believe her until I got there. Very homey though. Yeah.
That's what
And a gym, says Monika. And a gym out there.
That's why that's the thing. That's the cultural difference between pubs and bars. Like you'd have. I mean, within walking distance, there were a good, I think, about 12 pubs. Like probably within 15 minutes walk.
Yeah.
At some point, because it's almost like an extension of your living room. That's the whole point of it, because the houses are so damn small. And they kind of look like they look like your living room too. The same sort of carpet, same sort of layout. So there's something to that.
Oh, definitely.
State Asian will call it cozy. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Or rustic, if it's really
rustic. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, a lot of those pubs probably started out as houses and then got turned into pubs. Yeah.
Nah, they're purpose built.
No. They're purpose built. Okay.
Just ancient pubs.
How that's true. You guys do have some ancient buildings over there that have been around forever. In the town that I live in, the oldest structure, we've got the oldest house and the oldest wooden schoolhouse here, and they're from like the 1700s. But this town was founded in 1566. St. Augustine is the oldest continuously populated, at least according to whatever census they took. It's the oldest continuously populated city in America. Okay. And we've got a fort that is from, a couple of years after it was founded. The Spanish founded the town. So, I mean, that's probably one of the oldest structures we have here. Yep. And there's a fort that is true. Yep. But yeah, we don't have buildings that have been around for 400, 500 years, that have literally been a pub for that long.
Oh yeah.
And that is amazing.
There's an inn, there's a pub where the Crusaders drank before they went off in the crusade with King Richard the Lionheart. I'm trying to think of.
God, that's amazing.
Yeah. That's about 1,000 years old, more than 1,000 years old.
Holy shit! And just the history in that place, that is incredible, man. Yeah, I would love to take a trip to the UK. I would.
Hey, welcome. You come stay with us. You come stay with us if you come to the UK.
Absolutely, man. I would love that. Dude, I would love to take a. All right, I will likely be bringing Feline with me, so we can make do with that room, definitely. Yeah, would love to Scotland. Yeah, she and I would both love to go to Scotland. But dude, I think it would be amazing to come over and visit and just take a walk down to the pub and have a few pints, hanging out with you, man. Because seriously, you're one of the oldest friends I have in this scene, and it's cool, man. I've been getting to hang out with recently a bunch of my old friends. Got to do a stream with John Hervey. I got to do a stream with Vaughn. I got to hang out with Pete last night. It's been great. I've got Eric Weathers coming on next week, so it's kind of like been old home week, old home month. Just having all my old homies come hang out. It's fantastic. I really love this scene, man. The support, the love, the excitement and enthusiasm. It's just unparalleled. Absolutely unparalleled, man. I'm excited to see what more we can do and how everything is gonna, keep building and keep getting better. Frog G says, oldest continuously lived in city in the US, you say? That might have to be a trivia question. Dun, dun, dun.
I thought it was Philadelphia. I keep getting told it's Philadelphia, but I don't know.
Philadelphia is old, 1700s, but, the Spanish founded St. Augustine in 1566, 1565 or something like that. Right. So that's why they say that. It wasn't, Amelia Island. Yeah, Amelia Island is also really old, Feline.
And the Spanish were the first. They were there first, right? Like before
in Florida. Yeah.
Yep. I see.
Yep. Okay. They were indeed. They were looking for the Fountain of Youth, and there is actually a Fountain of Youth here in St. Augustine. Now, whether or not that was actually the place that that he found, what the hell was his name? I don't think it was St. Augustine that found it. They took St. Augustine because he came here and he actually spoke at one of the churches that was here at one point. Yeah, Amelia Island is also very old. But yeah, God. Ponce de Leon, that's who it was. Ponce de Leon is the guy that came here, and he was looking for the Fountain of Youth. And yeah, oh god, the sulfur water is bad. Like if you dig down 3 feet into the ground, you will end up hitting sulfur water, and it smells like rotten eggs. It is terrible. And that's why they had to put people in mausoleums. They couldn't bury them in the ground because when it rains, it'll flood, and so you'd have bodies rising out of the ground, just out of the floodwaters, and yeah, just a mess. So much like in New Orleans, they have to do the same thing in New Orleans.
It's a high water table, so you can't really. So engineering must have been difficult too.
Oh yeah,
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Miami's old as well. They found sulfur. Oh. The fountain is sulfur water. Yes, it is. Sulfur water is good for the skin. Is it really?
All right. It smells bad. It won't make me any friends.
It wreaks hell on people's digestion, from what I understand. But yeah, man, I would absolutely love to come visit. And yeah, so before we wrap up, we've been going for about an hour and 40 almost now. Oh, I know, man. This is what I mean. Talking to my friends, it's just so much fun, getting to reconnect and catch up, because that's, yes, it's about talking about the books, which, you guys, like, seriously, you want this book, sign up for the new one that's coming out and check out the eBay store. Link is in the description of this video if you've missed out on any of the other ones and you don't want to wait for the next campaign. But it's also about reconnecting, it's also about talking and being excited, so yeah, that's what this is all about, man. And I really appreciate you coming to hang out, dude. Is there anything else you'd like to say about Merry Boys before we wrap up?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me.
Of course, man.
Quite really love it. It's always a pleasure. Normally I'm really bad on streaming because I get fidgety and stuff. Like,
sure.
But this is always a pleasure. This is just natural. It's like just a conversation.
Thank you.
It's not. I don't feel like I have to put on a show. I do on some, like with the really sort of big show. I don't get onto big shows anymore anyway. But the point, like when you get onto those, you get like really pensive and nervous, and you don't know what to say. Here it's just like, just chatting to a mate. It's great. You do really well. It's
thank you, man. That is what I strive for. So that is a huge compliment. I want my guests to feel comfortable. We're just hanging out. We're nerds in a comic shop. We're nerds in a comic shop, and we're having a conversation, and it just happens to be shared with an audience that's all across the globe. I would prefer to have a natural conversation. Nobody likes to be interrogated. Interrogations are, they're nervous things, they're stressful things. But, a conversation, especially with your friends, like that's great. It's connecting, it's an exchange of energy, so.
Yeah, and you're really good it's conversational, but you also ask a lot of questions to get all the information and have, from an interview. It's really, you have that.
I mean, I'm curious, man. I'm always curious about my guests. I want to know what's going on, what makes them tick, what inspired what they do. So it's just I would likely ask these type of questions even if we weren't live, just because I want to know personally. So what's up, Blackjack? Thank you for coming to hang out. There's a famous resort in San Diego County called Warner Springs Ranch where they have sulfur spring pools. Interesting. I did not know that. Monika says digital versions will be added to eBay this weekend. Fantastic. Thank you, Fanta. I appreciate that.
I'll send you a link to the digital ones. I don't know if you've got those, but I'll send you a link to those.
Oh, please do, man. I love having digital versions because I have a tablet that I read digital stuff on, and I love having that to take with me when I go places. When I'm at home, I like to read physical books, but when I'm out on vacation, I love having a library of digital books to read. So please, man, I would love that.
Sure, no problem.
And all the backers will receive them for free. Yes, love hearing that. Dude, I am excited for the future for you guys. I'm excited for the next one. I can't wait to jump into this and read it. I'll probably do that this evening after my show at 5 with Odin Dasko and Skunk Artworks. We'll be talking about Kill Them Dead.
It's early in the morning, right? Maybe I'll catch it on the replay. What time is your thing with Odin and Skunkworks?
It is going to be, it's 2:46 now, so it'll be about, we're coming up on 3, so it'll be about 2 hours from now.
Okay, so that's not late. Okay, all right.
Yeah. I tried to do it as early as possible for Skunk, because I know that he's another, I think he's another hour ahead of you, because you're about 5 hours ahead, right?
Yeah.
It's about 7:47 right now. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So I try to take into account the time zones, because I'm kind of like right in the middle of all of the time zones that my friends live in. I've got a bunch of my friends that are in this time zone, but I've also got a bunch of them that are a few hours behind, and then I've got my UK pals that are all like half a day ahead of me. So I try to balance it out, and that's why I leave Saturdays open to do this kind of thing. So I'm so happy you were able to come hang out, dude. This has been great.
You accommodated very well.
I miss chatting with you, brother. Real life gets in the way, making comics gets in the way, but as long as we get a chance to do these type of things, it's all good. It's catching up with homies. But thank you once again, chat. You guys are absolutely amazing. Appreciate you being here, and I will see you at 5 p.m. Later, everybody.
It seems that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's in the box?